I released this big bad boy. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's a breeder.
There we go. Perfect. Wide open today. Yellowtail, bonita, bass, barracudas.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Here in Southern California, we're sandwiched between Seal Beach and Huntington Beach, and it's an overcast morning. Feels a little bit like fall here this morning, but the fishing in SoCal right now is anything but cool. It is red hot, big bluefin tuna, lots of yellowfin tuna, some local bass and yellowtail, and so much more. In fact, I just got off the horn with the Pegasus. He's out there around Tanner Cortez. The nighttime bite, we'll have information on that, and more importantly, what's that weather doing out there? It was up yesterday. Did it come down? We'll have that. We'll have some great yellowfin tuna fishing and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Delicious Wednesday morning, and it is so nice to be here with you all at daybreak. It's a gorgeous morning. I know it's a little bit cool, and there is a little bit of a breeze blowing in here on the beach, but man, I'll tell you, fishing can't get much better. Hey, hit that like button, share these videos if you are enjoying them, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and also TikTok, and don't forget also, we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It is really great to be back with you all. There is some tremendous fishing going on. The lead-in was great because we got to see so much going on over a wide variety. Santa Monica Bay, Cedros Island, also the Independence heading up here to the Bluefin Tuna Zone after fishing down on the Ridge area, several hundred miles down the Baja coast, and so much more. Tonight, don't forget, live at 6 p.m., you're not going to want to miss that great lobster seminar. A couple of guys from Promar, and man, you can't get it any better than Steve Oropesa and Gilbert Hernandez. They'll be doing a live 6 p.m. lobster seminar. So the format will be, they'll do the seminar, and then at the end, your questions. Anything you want to ask these guys, within reason, of course. I'll ask them the weird questions, and you'll be able to pick their brain, learn more about hooping for lobster, and get ready for the coming season because it's upon us. It's hard to believe that is indeed the case. Don't forget, the El Patron has some great fishing trips out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. She is speedy, she is fun, great crew, and great fishing right now. They have some day-and-a-half trips this weekend. Friday, we'll be on the El Patron, and folks, I know you want me to make a call on what we're going to be doing. I'll be doing that tomorrow. So if you're on the El Patron, I'll be sending you a message. Our Friday trip, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. should be a lot of fun. Not sure what we're going to be doing quite yet, but I'll keep you apprised of that tomorrow morning on the morning briefing. Don't miss that, as I'll get you up to date on what's going on. All right, let's jump into it. Let's start you down there on the Ridge area on the Independence, because the Indy had some pretty darn good fishing on yellowfin tuna and yellowtail, picking away at some nice fish down there on the Ridge area. And man, I'll tell you, the weather was absolutely gorgeous. But she has now pointed her bow toward the Bluefin Tuna Zone up here around San Clemente Island, Tanner Bank, Cortez Bank, surrounding areas where there has been some phenomenal fishing. It's been really, really good. Incidentally, don't forget, October the 20th, we are on the Independence. She is big, beautiful, the food is great, and the fishing can't get much better. I'll be there to shoot a video and catch you catching your prize big bluefin tuna, and who knows what else. In fact, who knows what will be going on at that point in time. All I can tell you is we see a steady flow of yellowfin moving up the Baja coast. That bluefin seems to be getting bigger and more voracious as time goes on. That's going to be a great trip. October the 20th with Friedman Adventures. Go to independencesportfishing.com to book right now or give them a call and get more information on that great trip. So Indy's headed up into this neck of the woods. We'll see what goes on for sure. Cedros Island, very good calico bass fishing and very good yellowtail action down there. Paul Morgan was having a great time down there until he got that hook in his hand. But, you know, into each life some rain must fall, as Paul said, and they got that out, and he went right back to fishing again. Good stuff down there in that neck of the woods. Ensenada area, 70 miles below the border, for those of you not familiar with the geography in Baja California, Mexico. And our friend Louis Prieto down there with a great catch. You saw it, man. I mean, he had bonita, barracuda, yellowtail. Those bonita were big, some bass. Really excellent fishing down there for Louis, and it's for real sport fishing. So excellent stuff going on south of the border. A steady flow of fish. We talked about down there around Bahia Tortuga, Turtle Bay, down several hundred miles down the Baja coast. And Brad Phillips is down there, and he said, pointed in this direction, are copious amounts of yellowfin, tuna, and dorado. So that flow, that El Nino warm water just continues to push more fish up into our zone. And it seems like that flow is going to continue here, not only into the late summer, but into the fall. The only thing that can screw that up is if this water gets cold, and that normally will take place when you get way too much wind and when you get some Arctic-based storms that come down here and cool our water. I mean, sometimes it will even survive that. So things are looking good for the future, no question about it. All right, let me jump into the Pegasus and tell you what I just heard from Jacob Barclay a couple of minutes ago. Jacob said, hey, Phil, it was choppy out here. We kind of got our butts kicked last night trying to fish the night bite, but we still ended up with 35 nice bluefin tuna on board the Pegasus out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We love the boys on the Pegasus. They're always doing a great job. 30 of the 35 fish were 60 to 150 pounds. That nighttime fishing has been fantastic. And maybe even better news, I mean, that's great fishing, and several other boats were in on it, had some great nighttime fishing last night. Maybe even better news is that Jacob said, Phil, weather's getting nice, way much more improved here as we come into daybreak. So that is good news for those of you who are going to be out there. Looks like it's going to blow up again on Saturday and Sunday, be fishable. And then when we get into like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, man, it is looking absolutely flat, calm, and gorgeous. In fact, I'll be on board the Amigo on a 2-day trip departing Wednesday night. That should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get out there with each and every one of you. Man, the fish are biting, they're big, and it's lots of fun. At night, in this kind of weather, even though it's come down, 300 to 400 gram jigs have been working best of all, leaning toward the 400s when the weather's up. And then again, the metered line that changes color every 100 feet allows you to know exactly what depth your jig is at, and that is perhaps the most important part of this whole game. That and dropping when the captain tells you to drop. And that, I keep going on and on here now, proper tackle, 2-speed reels that are really, really, really good at turning those big BFTs around. And man, I'll tell you, we see fish up over 200, right under 300, wondering if we're going to get a 400-pounder here really, really soon. It has been fantastic. So great fishing going on. There's also a daytime bite, a lot of kite flying going on for really big fish, and also during the daytime we're picking off, it seems like smaller grade, but mixed with it is that big stuff. So if you're fishing offshore right now, you definitely want to have some lighter stuff like 25-pound fluorocarbon. www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. And Greg Brown, the owner, if he sees you, he'll give you a big hug and a kiss. If you're not into that, he'll send you a free gift if you put in FA at checkout. Make sure you have that 25-pound, but you can't leave the heavy at home. And I would fish nothing less than 200-pound leaders when I'm fishing those jigs at night. That is so important to your success. Also, some of those Daiwa Sakana lures during the daytime have been working well. That 100 to 150-gram lure, shiny, small jig like that you toss on a foamer has been super effective out there in that neck of the woods. So we continue to see great fishing out there. The Fortune, and we just had a great trip with them. Rick Russell and their crew, awesome. A day-and-a-half trip, limits of bluefin tuna here recently, and 68 yellowtail. There's still Cortez Bank, big yellows biting, good surface iron bite, good fly line bite. It's been phenomenal on, well, I want to call it 15 to 25 pound yellows, and some fish up there around 40 pounds. Looks like you're fishing Guadalupe Island, fishing out there on Cortez for big yellows. I don't know if there's anything better than that. So we have seen some really great fishing, a variety of stuff everywhere. And once again, the weather seems to be coming down for the time being. We're kind of in this situation where it blows up and it lays down, and then we get into some really beautiful weather scenarios next week. That is looking really, really good. All right, let's get into the more local yellowfin tuna bite. When I say local, it still can be 40 miles, 50 miles, can be 20 miles, it can be 5 miles. There's fish crawling all over the place. But down out of San Diego, those boats have been up there around La Jolla, Carlsbad, offshore of there, and they have had some really great fishing. Liberty, 59 yellowfin tuna for Dorado. Stephen Mays said it was absolutely awesome fishing. Nice fish. Stephen, so happy to see you knocking them dead. The Pacific Queen is on a multi-day trip. They decided to hang in this water that's a little bit calmer, 22 guys, $1.20 on the yellowfin tuna. So really good yellowfin tuna fishing on the Pacific Queen. So what else is new? Let me tell you, they've been all over it. You saw that swordfish that weighed in at 170 something pounds on the 095. Dennis Yamamoto was on there, and they also had some good bluefin tuna fishing here recently. San Diego, 33 guys, 68 yellowfin tuna. The Sea-Watch, 54 yellowfin tuna. The Thunderbird, Davies Locker in Newport Beach, 40 yellowfin tuna. So you have this choice right now of staying closer to the beach and catching yellowfin tuna. It's nice, great. It's like 15 to 40 pound fish, or going long and catching those giant big bluefin tuna. Oh my God, what a dilemma, huh? Great fishing in one area, great fishing in another area. It is really great what's going on here in SoCal. Sometimes those yellowfin tuna on the local areas are really finicky, so you got to get tough, and that's dropping that fluorocarbon down. And sometimes it means dropping your hook size down to a number 4, number 1 or 2 circle hooks. Usually are going to do you just fine, but in some cases you've got to get really tough, and that always means dropping your line test down. So really some great stuff going on as we look up and down the coast. I love the offshore situation right now. It just seems to get better and better. There's some hits on Dorado, and there's a little bit of black skipjack we've seen, tropical warm water species, just great signal and sign. So we're seeing all the right signals and signs for a fabulous fall here in SoCal. And right now, fishing can't get much better. We see so many big fish, especially at night. There has been just incredible fishing on 100+ pound bluefin tuna. Hopefully that's going to continue to head in the right direction. Our island situation has not been all that great, not because it's not all that great, it's because nobody's fishing it right now. I mean, there's so much good offshore fishing going on that nobody is really paying too close attention to the islands. But you can see Todos Santos Island down there in Ensenada, it's for real sport fishing with some really good fishing going on down there in that neck of the woods. We've seen nothing short of outstanding fishing and a wide variety of fish. Bonita, yellowtail, calico bass. You can hardly beat what's going on down there in that neck of the woods. Coronado Island's a little bit slower, a few yellows there, some calico bass. San Clemente Island, everybody's offshore. They're pounding on that big bluefin tuna, those big yellows out on Cortez Bank. And even closer to the island, guys are flying kites and catching big bluefin, a little bit of yellows and calico bass up there in the Channel Islands. Oh, hey, wait a minute, I skipped over Catalina. Well, there's a few yellows, mostly rockfish right now, picking at a few bass. Not anything all that wide open, but a little bit forky there, and hopefully that's going to turn on. Then Channel Islands had some kind of brisk weather up there in that neck of the woods. A lot of great rock fishing up there, occasional sea bass and halibut, and also we continue to see also a really good opportunity in some cases at that bluefin. It shows up, but most of that is going to go, you're going to be on a multi-day trip out of Ventura Harbor sport fishing. For example, you're going to be running to Cortez and Tanner. It's just too good out there. All right, let's talk about some local fishing right now. San Diego, few yellows on the half-day boats down in that neck of the woods, and calico bass fishing, a lot of short fish, but good action and great rock fishing. Same thing up there at Oceanside, a mix of bass, occasional halibut up there. Same thing, Dana Point area, some bass, halibut. You know, I'm telling you, there's Dorado, there's yellowfin tuna, there's bluefin tuna. Guys out of Dana Wharf sport fishing are seeing it every day. They're getting a shot at it every day. The big scores have not occurred yet. I'm thinking very optimistically. I'm thinking very rationally though, because you're seeing all that fish and you know that light switch is going to go on at some point in time. So if you're on a local boat out of Dana Wharf sport fishing, you're making a big mistake if you're just going geared for calico bass. You definitely want to make sure you have some heavier tackle, because you never know. It's been very close as 5 miles from Dana Point, from Newport. There's fish on the 14-mile bank. There's a lot of that offshore stuff close to the coast. Make sure you vary your tackle. Incidentally, if you're trying to get a bite on those calicos, drop that test down, that fluorocarbon down to 12 or 15, and you'll be bit all day long. Nice bass fishing on the Monte Carlo yesterday, half-day boat out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. You can get the job done nicely there on the calicos. Some days are really good. Other days they fall back on some really good rock fishing and sculpin. And same thing for all the boats here out of Long Beach and San Pedro and up there in Redondo, up there in Marina del Rey, up in the Channel Islands, that local bite. A little bit of bass, sometimes okay bass fishing, and then really excellent whitefish, rockfish, that kind of a thing. That has been mostly what has been going on here recently. Private boater Ray Johnson, you saw him releasing that fish up in the Santa Monica Bay. Ray said he had some really great local bass fishing. It's off the hook. As a private boater, we love to see what's going on. Now let's move you into the surf, where Richard Cayo said, hey man, this yellowfin croaker bite is really good. Catching them on the sand crabs. I love catching yellowfin croaker on a small, like 3/4 ounce crocodile, shiny chrome jig. Man, you toss it out, you get a bite on that. When you're winding it in, man, you think you've hooked a yellowfin tuna for about 1 second. And then you realize, hey, this is pretty cool. My feet on the sand, I'm making a cast, fish are biting. So Richard, always doing his thing and always doing a great job. Jesse Jansen with a beautiful halibut. Nice going, Jesse. Yes, there are flatfish, there are spot fin croaker biting on the bait. There's more and more action starting to take place. You know, still get the feeling we're a month behind in our bite here. So we're seeing all that yellowfin croaker now. Good halibut fishing at times. There's rays and sharks and guitar fish and all of that razzmatazz also to provide some good action for you. Surf fishing's only going to get better. I think it's going to continue here for a while. Don't forget your surf fishing headquarters right down there. I can walk there in 10 minutes on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. That is Big Fish Bait and Tackle. They not only have your surf fishing gear, but they have your big game fishing gear. Also, make sure you say hi to the great folks down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. All right, my friends, I am telling you, there's some awfully good stuff going on right now. Let's hope it continues to head in the right direction. I love the weather coming down. Thanks, Jacob, on the Pegasus for the great update. Independence headed for that zone right now. Don't forget, October the 20th, we are on board the Independence 5-day trip, $2,250. It is going to be phenomenal. IndependenceSportFishing.com. Don't forget also our live lobster seminar tonight at 6 p.m. You are not going to want to miss that right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And we have a raffle. We're giving away a Pen Fathom reel on Saturday. I'll have that, the winner for you Sunday morning right here on the morning briefing. You do not need to be present. You can send me a text right now. I'll fill out your tickets. I'll send you a photo of the tickets and get you in the raffle. And all those proceeds go to help us to ship more goods to Mexico. We've already sent down a ton of clothing and medical supplies and a lot of love. We're going to send more of it down there before Christmas, and we need your help. One way you can do it is by participating in our raffles. Send me a text, 657-227-6459, and we'll get you taken up we'll get you your tickets. I'll send you a photo here this morning. All right, have a great day. Lobster seminar tonight with the boys from Promar. It's going to be great. You'll be able to ask all the questions your little heart desires, and hopefully things continue to head in the right direction, because this is as good as it gets. Lots of big fish, yellowfin tuna, more push moving up the Baja coast. Man, it's fantastic. We are truly blessed here in SoCal. All right, have a great day, and I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.